Hey everybody, this is Alex from the Midwest Game Nerds podcast. I have ordered the Backbone and it has arrived, so I'm excited to check it out, see what kind of games I can play with it on the iPhone, and check out that Fantasian RPG from the creator of Final Fantasy. So let's get right to it, open it up, take a look at it. I will say, it's a nice design on the box. It's got a picture of what the controller looks like on the sides there, and cool things like you apparently can capture game clips and screenshots with it. Nice compact design. It includes a headphone jack, which is really nice since most of the modern iPhones do not have headphone jacks. There's only certain games that support controllers, but any game that does support controllers on iPhone will be able to use the Backbone. And they tout a low latency connection and pass-through charging and audio. So it's pretty cool that you can obviously, this thing plugs into the charging port while you're using it. So it's nice that they have pass-throughs so that if you do need to charge your device, because some of the games can be pretty power intensive, you can do that while you're playing the game. So they got a little tab. Once you have the plastic off, you can just rip that open, and then it slides open. We've got some nice wording on the inside about what they want to do with this device. Have people playing games together on the iPhone. I've heard works well with the Call of Duty mobile game, which I will probably not be playing. But no, I'm excited to see what it can do. Nice branding inside the box. And obviously you can kind of see the main construction of the controller itself. So I'm going to pull this out. They kind of have some instructions for you. You line up the lightning connector, you put the phone in, and then you snap it into the other side, which makes sense. Obviously the power connector is going to be the most important thing that you're going to play with here. But no, this is a really nice, it feels pretty nice. It reminds me a little bit of the Switch Joy-Cons, so I know that'll probably bother some people, but like even the D-pad on that has never really bothered me too much. Same kind of response I'm getting from the buttons here. The R1 and L1 buttons do have some good response. The R2 and L2, not so much. You don't really get a click out of those at all. Might be kind of spoiled from the DualSense from the PlayStation 5. But yeah, you got click-in sticks as well, which is nice. A good amount of travel on the sticks. And I'm excited to use this thing. So, and yeah, it seems pretty easy to open it up to whatever size you're going to need for whatever size iPhone you have. I assume this accommodates not only the like the iPhone SE and the iPhone 11 mini, but also the Max Pro or the Pro Max, which is a gigantic phone. So I only have the iPhone 11 Pro. So I'm going to stop recording on that right now, and I'll put it in here. We can take a look at that, how that all goes, and then maybe we can open up the Backbone app and see kind of how things work on the iOS device. Okay, so I'm back now. I did change a little bit of the setup here so that you'll be able to see when I connect things in, but I did have to remove my case from the iPhone. I do have a very thin case, so that's a little bit of a disappointment for me, just because I like keeping my phone protected. But it did not click in quite as nicely as it should. So let me bring it back over here. Once again, you can kind of extend out the Backbone, place your phone on the lightning connector as such, and then snap into place. You'll see on the screen that the phone has recognized the Backbone, and I can press A to continue, so I'm going to do that. Continue with Apple, of course. Going to blur this stuff out so you can't see it. I can pick an emoji. Which one best describes me as a person? Drooling guy is pretty good. Oh, I'm a gamer though, so let's go with that. I usually use John D1703 for pretty much everything, as most game nerds people will know. They do use your phone to verify that you are a real person. You can skip it if you want. This will help you find friends, though, through the app. All right. Got to allow some stuff. Gonna allow them to use my notifications and my contacts and my photos. And yeah, you can share some great moments. So excited. Yeah, they got the bottom left button here. Allows you to record gameplay. You press it to record. You hold it to take a screenshot. That's cool. And then controller support in the App Store is what you're looking for games that support the Backbone. All right, and then there's an orange button here that you can press to open up the Backbone app. Yeah, so this is what the app interface looks like. It does have support for both the Xbox Remote Play app, which I don't think includes the xCloud stuff as of yet, and the PlayStation Remote Play app. So let's maybe see if that'll connect. Yeah, so there's a lightning connector. Oh, we did get it to connect. There's a lightning connector on the bottom right, and it looks like there's a headphone connector on the bottom left. Does look a little recessed on both of these cases, so if you have particularly bulky connectors, might have a little bit of a rough time there. But yeah, so this feels quite responsive in terms of the buttons. I'm not feeling a whole lot of input lag here. Let's boot up Avengers. That's what I've been playing lately. Yeah, and this part was really kicking my ass the other day. So I can feel a little bit of lag, but really it's not as bad as I would have expected. It's quite nice, actually. Oh, like I said, I was getting my ass kicked before, so this isn't my performance here is not indicative of how nice this controller is or not. Now, would I use this to play Dark Souls? Probably not. But I think you could if you really wanted to. And, this is obviously a remote play app as well. So with some of the more triggers are nice. Even though the L2 doesn't click, it's pretty nice. But yeah, as I was saying, this is a remote play app. And so I'm thinking the native iPhone apps are going to control even nicer. So yeah, there are some, what would be the start button's going to be actually below the right thumbstick, which is a little bit weird, but honestly, I think having it up, I think they could have had it up by the buttons here, just in terms of the layout, but maybe the electronics didn't work out that way. And then I wonder if this dot button, yeah, it does bring up the share button on the PS5, so that's nice. But yeah, I think this looks really nice. And right now, at the moment, I didn't necessarily prepare for this video, so didn't quite do my homework. I don't think I have any controller-related games downloaded. But let me see if I can find something real quick. I'll be right back, and we'll take a look at that too. All right, so I'm loading up The Last Campfire, which is an Apple Arcade game as well. Not to make this a big Apple Arcade ad, but they do have a nice selection of controller-enabled games that are available on their devices. And this is a little puzzle game. I have played it on the Apple TV. We'll see if it carries my save over. Yeah, it absolutely did. So that's nice. And once again, very responsive here. Hit continue. This is just a nice little puzzle game, not too controller intensive, really. You could probably play it with, like, using your finger, like touch controls, that type of stuff. But yeah, we'll see. A little stuttery gameplay wise, but honestly, like, very stuttery gameplay wise. That's maybe my biggest concern with a lot of these Apple Arcade items. I tried to play the Pathless on the Apple TV, and it was just a bit too stuttery, in my opinion. The performance was just not quite there, and I know people have been waiting for a refresh on the Apple Arcade, so hopefully that's coming soon. Or excuse me, on the Apple TV. I don't know what I'm saying because I'm trying to do too much at once. Honestly, controls quite well when the game's performing okay. And, I don't really play Fortnite or, the Call of Duty mobile. So I wonder, I bet it controls quite well with those as well. You would think they would be invested in trying to make sure that they have a good controller solution for those games, because that's what a lot of those Fortnite and Call of Duty gamers do prefer if they're not on PC, which a great deal of them are. But no, I'm quite impressed with this. I think it feels quite nice. The main thing here that I'm kind of concerned about is future proof for this thing. As you may know, iPhone designs can change a lot from year to year, especially in terms of like the thickness of the model. They tend to get thinner. Not always the case, but usually. But like even with this guy, you can see that the camera bumps here, like how big the camera bumps are, could be a thing. It's fortunately not really rubbing up against the backbone at all, which is nice. I'm glad that that's the case. But yeah, we'll have to see kind of how this thing is going to work in the future in terms of, will they make adapters or things that'll fit phones as they get bigger or whatever. Obviously, there's a lot of play here. I don't know if this would work in a... I'm not really certain that this would work with an iPad or an iPad mini even. So you can see that there's a little bit of kind of scalloping that's done here at the bottom edge, which very comfortably fits, my phone. And I'm curious if even the Pro Max, the 11 Pro Max, would fit that particularly well. So we'll have to see. I'm not sure. Obviously, if you've got the Pro Max, you're wondering if this thing is a good fit for you, check out some other reviewers. Unfortunately, I don't have one that I can throw in here to test out. And I don't have an iPad either to really give that a try. But it would be cool if they found a way to make those work. Because I know that it would be nice to have a small controller that I could use with a iPad Pro, like the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. But I think even carrying that with this thing would be a little bit too much. So we'll have to see how Backbone develops their further products. I'm excited. This thing, the build quality on this thing is nice. It is $99 plus shipping, so keep that in mind. I have not tried out the Razer Kishi. I know some people are also quite happy with that as well. It's a little bit cheaper, maybe $10-20 cheaper. But I am excited to start playing some games on here. I've never really seen mobile as that viable of a platform, but one of the biggest things for me is typically having a controller. And so I'm curious to see if this leads to me playing more mobile games. And with games like Fantasian and other controller-based games coming out on the Apple Arcade and on iOS, I'm kind of curious to play them and see just kind of how nice the platform is, especially like the performance issues that we were kind of seeing with the last Campfire. They did eventually go away after the game had been up for a while, but I don't know if that's the case for everything here. Might try out the Pathless, see if it performs any better on the phone. Should, because it's a bit newer than the Apple TV that I have. But, these are the things that I'm going to be thinking about from now on. So, if you do want to see more of my thoughts on Fantasian and the if you would like to hear more of my thoughts on the Backbone as I continue to use it, please be sure to subscribe to the Midwest Game Nerds podcast in your favorite podcatcher, whether that is on the Apple Podcasts app, Overcast, Spotify. We're in all the places you should be able to find us. We're also on Stitcher, so please go subscribe. We'd love to have you along. We also have a Patreon. It's at mpn.bz/Patreon. If you'd like to give us even just $1 a month, we would greatly appreciate it because, we do this out of a labor of love, but it is nice to receive some financial support, especially with all the costs that we have associated with running a podcast and a podcast network. So thank you once again. I'm Alex. Come check us out. We're also live on Twitch. We do every other week. Twitch.tv/MidwestGameNerds. You can use your free Amazon Prime subscription to subscribe to us there if you'd like to support us in that way as well. We'd appreciate it very much. But yeah, I will talk to you guys next time.